right in front of this. Don't.
Liar.
Welcome. Should I say welcome back or should I just say welcome? I don't know. It's been about 2 years since I've been here on YouTube. I know I am so sorry. So sorry. I've been focusing all my time on Instagram and making IGTV videos when YouTube has been here the whole time. So constant, never changing. Meanwhile, Instagram changes their policies every other month. We know that. The algorithm, you know. But here we are. We're creating new content for 2021 and I'm so excited to get into that. Today's video, we are going to start from the very beginning. Actually, I had a video planned to building your basic makeup kit, like drugstore makeup from the very beginning. It was originally a YouTube video, but then we had some technical issues, so we made it a blog post. You can go ahead and read that blog post on how to build your beginner makeup kit using all drugstore products and what you need as a beginner, or if you're not comfortable with makeup in the full shebang yet. Today we are doing a video on makeup brushes and all the brushes that you need to start with. It's literally probably 3 or 4. I'm sharing my favorite brushes and the ones that will probably get the most use. So without further ado, let's get started. So I normally use a beauty blender, like the actual beauty blender, to apply my foundation. But since we're here today, we are also going to try the Morphe sponge that I got on Sephora. I always use a sponge to apply my foundation because I feel like it applies it more evenly and actually gets into the skin rather than just like surface level and streaky. Because I used to use a foundation brush all the time, but I noticed a dramatic difference with a sponge. I mean, that could just be me, or maybe you'll notice it too, but sponge for foundation. So we're going to go in with the NARS Soft Matte Foundation. And I will show you how the sponge works. Now, not even going to lie, sometimes I don't use a damp beauty blender. I know, it's gross, it's weird. I did use a damp Morphe sponge because this one feels a lot more dense than, is denser the word? This one does, it's more dense than the beauty blender, so I feel like it has to be wet or it's going to absorb a lot of product. So let's see how the Morphe sponge holds up to the beauty blender, which is my holy grail. Also, my skin is really dry right now, so please excuse. So far, it's about the same. There is some product picking up. Can you hear that? It does sound denser than a beauty blender and it feels denser than a beauty blender. And I don't know if that's a good thing. I mean, it definitely did what it's supposed to do. I just feel like the beauty blender blends it better and faster, but not bad. I mean, it could just be me and my I like my beauty blender. But this is actually, it's pretty good. I could probably put on more foundation and build up the coverage too. But I think that's all we're going to go for today for this quick makeup look. So then I would say my next step, actually I use the beauty blender for any liquid products that I'm putting on because I said it really blends in evenly and doesn't leave anything streaky and it actually gets into the skin rather than just sitting on top of the skin, which is also why you need to wash your face properly. Because yes, the makeup goes into your pores. It is what it is. So I'm going to put on my concealer. I know that TikTok trend is where you just like put it on here and then put it on here, but my dark circles don't like that. So we're just gonna slide over those dark circles. Yeah. Put it on here, put it on there, cover the dark circle, and still lift it at the end. Now I also like to go up to the bridge of my nose with the concealer to snatch my nose, which will be another video now that I'm back on YouTube. Same beauty blender. Yeah, when I'm doing my own makeup, I'm like, ugh. But if I'm doing someone else's makeup, I'm like, it's not blending because I'm barely touching them. I literally beat my face. Oh, sorry. This is the Born This Way Multi-Use Shaping Concealer. Here's my problem with this. It's too thick here and I can't get into like the fine areas like what I can with my beauty blender. Because it's not the egg shape. So like getting into the corner of my eye here is pretty hard. I mean, it is blending and doing a really good job, but when I'm trying to get into small areas, it's making it very hard. Okay, Beauty Blender for all liquid products. Now I set it with setting powder that I don't have. I have setting powder. So for setting powder, you can really use any type of brush. It's a flat brush, kind of tapered because it helps you, this edge helps you get more precise, but I also have a fluffy brush. Excuse them, they're dirty. I was using them. I'm gonna use them again. So I have this fluffy tapered brush as well because the edges really helps you get into the crease of your eyes. Again, this is optional if you use a setting powder. If you don't, set everything. I think I like this brush because it covers a lot of surface area at once. I'm older now, so I really like to set under my eyes because they crease, and my sister will tell you it's because I don't drink water, which may also be true, but you know. So I do use the Fenty Matchstick for cream contour, and I will use an oval brush, one of these ones. Don't look at it, it's gross. So I use an oval brush like this to really get under my cheeks and everywhere to really blend it in, because the dense brushes blend better than a fluffy one. So the more dense the brush is, the more of a blend you're gonna get when you're blending. When it comes to eyes, we'll talk about dense brushes for eyes. So I use that for cream products. You don't have to. Again, you can also use your Beauty Blender to buff out any contour lines. We're not cream contouring today, so we are going to use the Charlotte Tilbury, it's rubbed off, the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer. And for beginners, I'm gonna recommend, what would you call this, a tapered brush, kind of fluffy, usually a blush brush. This one is Morphe. The way that it's tapered here, as you can see, it's small here and then gets longer here. That's going to help you get a really precise line, which you can blend out. This one is my blush brush. So I'm not going to use it, but that's the one I would recommend for contouring. Okay, on to the eyes. We're going to do a very, very basic, like quick 5-minute eye look. Not even 5 minutes, like it literally takes one brush and your finger and you're good to go. The first brush, let me find it. The first brush is your basic eyeshadow brush. This is just a fluffy brush, a little bit of fluff. That will help you pack on the color onto your lid. It'll give you a very light pigment at first, unless you're actually like packing and patting. And then the other brush that I recommend is a tapered brush. You'll find these everywhere. I actually have a blog post about this. If you want to read the blog post and find the brushes, I have them linked below on my website. Go check them out there. So the crease brush, fluffy little taper brush, the Sky, that's going to add a little definition to your crease. I'm going to go in with my, look at this, so cute, this cute little Friends palette. These are actually really great and really pigmented. I love this palette. So we're going to go in with the color Barney's. Tap off the extra, take your fluffy tapered brush and go into the crease. Literally just back and forth motion. It's going to define the crease. So a fluffy brush will disperse the pigment easier than a dense brush. So if you're going for a really soft look, start off with a fluffy brush. It's also better to start off with a fluffy brush so you can build your pigment, because it's easier to add pigment than take it away. Flicking it up at the end, because if you go down, you're going to drag your whole eye look down. You could go back in with that shader brush we talked about to add a little bit of pigment to the lid, or you can just use your finger, which is just as easy. Take my ring finger. I usually like to pick a shimmer shade, like on a break, on my ring finger, and just tap that onto my lid. Add a little bit of definition, makes it glowy. We're awake, we're alive. That's literally it. That's all we're gonna do for this eye look. Half the time, I don't even use a palette. I will actually just go in with my contour as the crease color and my highlighter on my lid. We're gonna put on some mascara. We are using the Huda Beauty mascara today. I'm trying to be the internet's big sister, and my own little sister just said I was not a big sister. Anyway, I didn't bring a blush. But the same kind of brush that you use for your contour, you would use for your blush. And for highlight, which is not essential, but for me it's essential. I use a very fluffy tapered brush. So we just brush that along here. And here. I want the look of drinking water without having to drink the water. I swear it's possible. Look, I do it all the time. So yeah, that is a very basic everyday makeup routine that used only 4, maybe 5 brushes. As we get into the more in-depth eye makeup looks, we'll obviously be using a lot of brushes. I have about maybe 50. I don't use them all, but I do have a ton of brushes. But these are the basic, like, if you're just starting out, you don't know what to buy, these are the ones that are going to get you the furthest. But yeah, I am back. We are making many YouTube videos, so stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching.